Bucknutters, welcome into the Morning Five on Thursday, July 24th, 2014. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by the one and only Alex Gleitman. Alex, I want to start off talking about the story I posted last night on the First Lady of Ohio State football, Shelly Meyer. I interviewed Shelly yesterday right after she finished teaching a spinning class, and we chatted about a wide range of topics for about 45 minutes. For the listeners out there, if you haven't read the story, make sure you do, because it includes a lot of interesting takeaways about Urban Meyer. Alex, my biggest surprise after interviewing Shelly was that Urban once told her he dreamed of coaching at 3 schools. Ohio State, we knew that. Notre Dame, we knew that too. And Michigan. That about floored me, Alex. I know Michigan is a story program, but Urban grew up in Ohio rooting for the Buckeyes, and he had Ohio State as his number one school that he wanted to end up at. Your take when you heard that?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Dave, again, and I really think you should have taken Shelly's spinning class before being granted that interview. No, I actually had heard that, that rumor floating around somewhere that Michigan would have been a, quote unquote, one of his dream jobs, or one of the jobs he would consider very seriously, and that Shelly had no veto power on. But to hear her confirm it yesterday, I guess it was a little surprising. But at the end of the day, when you look at things, I think about it like a professional, like a college football player that's ready to be drafted into the pro draft. Let's say you had let's call it a Browns fan growing up, and then all of a sudden he's drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's kind of similar. At the end of the day, like, it's your dream to play big-time football in the NFL, and you know what? If the Steelers are the team that drafted you, even though you hated them your entire life, you kind of roll with the punches. And I kind of see this as a similar situation in that, Urban Meyer grew up an Ohio State fan. He always despised Michigan, but at the same time, he respected them. It's a storied program, a lot of history. I think Shelly made it pretty clear to you, though, that was kind of what she said was a long time ago when they were at Bowling Green, and that was at the early part of the century. So at that time, Michigan still kind of was at the peak of college football. And I really can't blame him, as you said. So a little surprised, yes, but I completely understand from a professional standpoint why a coach would aspire to get to a program like University of Michigan.
The biggest question every Ohio State fan wants to know about Urban Meyer is how long he plans on coaching at Ohio State. Shelly told me she's not sure, and I don't think she was being evasive, Alex. She honestly doesn't know, but she did say he's much more relaxed and is having more fun than he ever did while at Florida, so that's good news for the Buckeye fans out there. I don't think he's thinking, I'm going to do this for another 2 or 3 years and get out the door. So it's good to hear that he's relaxed and having more fun. I think, if I had to guess, if I had to put an exact number on Alex, I think he'll stay for another 7 years after this one to make it a clean 10 years at Ohio State. Somewhere around there, I'll say 7 years after this one for a total of 10 years. If you had to predict, how long do you think Urban Meyer will stay?
Yeah, as you said, I definitely believe Shelly. I don't think they really know for sure. And, there's unforeseen circumstances that come up all the time. No one thought Jim Tressel's tenure would end that soon. And, it just kind of, there's unforeseen circumstances that come up. That being said, I'll agree. I kind of, when he signed on, I saw him in the about 8-year range, so that would give him 5 more after this year. If he wins a championship in those 8 years, I think Ohio State fans would be very happy with getting 8 years out of Urban Meyer. But as you said, he also definitely seems kind of more relaxed and more comfortable. He's home. I think he knows this might be his last coaching destination. He's only 50 years old, so I could see another 8 to 10 years out of Urban, and who knows, if Buckeye fans are lucky, maybe it's more.
Let's switch gears and talk about Friday Night Lights. You're coming all the way from New York City. If that doesn't say how big this event is, nothing will. What's the latest on Torrance Gibson, Alex? There was some debate about this on the board last night. Is he definitely 100% coming to Friday Night Lights tomorrow?
You can't say 100% with Torrance Gibson until you actually see him in the flesh on campus. But what I will say is Torrance, they confirmed to me last night that he would be coming to Friday Night Lights. He's supposed to bring a 2016 safety, Cedric Wright from Gulliver Prep, with him as well, a 4-star prospect in the 2016 class. So Buckeyes getting a little bonus action there. So Torrance said, he was planning on leaving, all set to go. We expect him at Friday Night Lights. So I'll call it a 99% with that 1% until we see him in the flesh and blood in the Horseshoe on Friday night.
Any chance we'll see a commitment or two this weekend?
Definitely a chance. I don't think we're expecting any. There's a couple kids in the 2016 class, and Demario McCall and Jake Hausman and Luke Farrell, that it wouldn't be shocking if they gave their verbal pledges tonight. Who knows? The Boarding House yesterday said Ohio State might be pushing for a verbal from Torrance Gibson, so you never know. But I don't know if any verbals will necessarily happen from Friday Night Lights unless there's an offer made to a kid like a Jake Tickard or a Lawrence Cager that maybe they want to jump on it right away. But usually an event like this, they kind of seal the deal with a bunch of prospects, even if they don't announce that specific night.
As I said, you're coming all the way from New York City. What are you looking forward to the most?
I think, you see all these kids, whether it's on TV at the opening or in various high school games or even at camps and combines or you watch their film. But at the end of the day, there's no substitute for sitting there and watching them compete live. And a camp like this, at the other Ohio State camps, there's great competition, don't get me wrong. But this is as close to an invite-only event as is possibly allowed. So it really brings kind of the cream of the crop and the best of the best together. And I think just being able to see these guys live compete with the atmosphere that's Friday Night Lights, music blaring from the speakers, highlights playing on the video board, the celebrity coaches, guys like Orlando Pace, Joey Galloway, or Charles Bentley have been there, Mike Doss in the past, and then having, this open to the fans. And, you'll probably get a couple thousand fans there, which is pretty good turnout for a school camp event where you really can't even, the casual fan can't even tell really who's who down on the field. It's just an electric atmosphere, and seeing those guys compete live in front of that is really going to be exciting.
On the site later today, Alex will have a detailed story about what fans can watch for at Friday Night Lights, so make sure you keep it locked to Bucknuts for that. We'll have that posted sometime around 3 o'clock. Before that, we'll have the boarding house around noon. That will have an interesting item on D'Angelo Russell, incoming freshman for Ohio State's basketball team. Spoiler alert, he's looking really, really good. And we'll have the other 4 items in the boarding house as well. So we'll also have J-Book's Outside Columbus column. I incorrectly said on the show yesterday that we were going to post that yesterday. That comes out every Thursday, so I have my days mixed up. J-Book's column Outside Columbus is coming out today, so make sure you look for that. Thanks to Alex Gleitman. Thanks to all the listeners out there. I hope you have a great day. Take it away, Best Damn Band.